I still remember that night like it's playing on a loop inside my head. It was 3:17 in the morning, the time when the whole city feels dead and only people like me are awake, pushing a mop across shiny floors that nobody will see until the rich folks come in at 9. My name is Jessica. I'm 29, I have a 6-year-old named Noah, and I clean the coal tower 40 floors up so I can pay rent and keep the lights on. That night my shoes were wet, my back was screaming, and my phone kept buzzing with texts from the babysitter. Noah's fever is 102 now. I gave him the last of the children's Tylenol. I only had $11 in my checking account until payday, and payday was still 4 days away. I remember thinking, God, please just let me finish this floor so I can go home and hold my baby. The 40th floor is always quiet. It's the executive level, all glass walls and fancy art nobody is allowed to touch. I had my headphones in, some old country song about broken roads, and I was pushing the mop in slow circles trying not to cry. That's when I heard it. A heavy thud like a body hitting the carpet. I pulled one earbud out. Nothing. Just the hum of the air system. I told myself it was nothing, keep working Jessica, you can't afford to be late clocking out. But something inside me wouldn't let me walk away. I left the mop bucket and walked toward Mr. Cole's private office. The door was cracked open just enough for the light to spill out. I pushed it wider, and my heart dropped straight to my stomach. There was a man on the floor. Suit, tie, shiny shoes, face pale as paper. He wasn't moving. No rise and fall in his chest. Nothing. I ran to him and dropped to my knees. I shook his shoulder. Sir? Sir, can you hear me? His head just rolled to the side. His lips were turning blue. I've had CPR training, just a cheap class the cleaning company made us take 2 years ago, but everything came rushing back. I tilted his head, pinched his nose, and gave 2 rescue breaths. His lips were warm, warmer than I expected, and for one crazy second I thought, Jessica, you're kissing a stranger on the floor of a billionaire's office. Then I started chest compressions, counting out loud, 1, 2, 3, 4. My hands were shaking so bad I almost lost the rhythm. 30 compressions, 2 more breaths. I tasted his cologne, expensive like cedar and ocean. Another 30 compressions. Sweat was dripping down my face, mixing with tears I didn't even know were falling. I kept begging, come on, please don't do this, I can't have somebody die while I'm the only one here. On the second round of breaths he gasped. It was the most beautiful sound I ever heard. Like air rushing back into the world. His eyes flew open, dark green, confused, staring straight up at me. His hand came up slow and grabbed my wrist, not hard, just holding on like he was making sure I was real. You. His voice was rough, barely there. You saved my life. I sat back on my heels, breathing hard, trying to understand what just happened. He tried to sit up but couldn't. I helped him lean against the desk. His phone was on the floor, cracked screen still glowing. I picked it up, hands shaking, and dialed 911. While it rang, he kept looking at me like he was trying to memorize my face. Stay with me, I whispered. Help is coming. The operator picked up and started asking questions. I answered the best I could. Male 30-something, he stopped breathing, I did CPR, he's awake now but weak. The man reached out and touched my cheek with 2 fingers, gentle like he was checking if I was really there. Tell them I'm okay, he rasped. Just don't leave. I don't know why, but I promised I wouldn't. Paramedics came rushing and 8 minutes later. By then he was sitting up, color coming back into his face. They put an oxygen mask on him, checked his vitals, asked a million questions. One of them looked at me and said, Ma'am, you did good. Real good. You saved him. I just nodded because my throat was too tight to speak. They loaded him onto the stretcher. Right before they wheeled him out, he pulled the mask down and looked at me one more time. What's your name? He asked. Jessica, I said. My voice cracked. Just Jessica. He gave the tiniest smile. Thank you, just Jessica. Then he was gone. I stood there in the empty office for a long time, staring at the spot where he'd been lying. My mop bucket was still in the hallway, water getting cold. My hands smelled like his cologne. My heart felt too big for my chest. I finished the floor on autopilot, clocked out at 5:02 a.m., and took the bus home through the gray morning. Noah was asleep on the couch, fever finally broken. Babysitter snoring in the armchair. I kissed his forehead, whispered thank you to the sitter, and crawled into bed still wearing my uniform. I thought that was the end of it. Just one crazy night I would tell Noah about when he got older. How mommy saved a stranger's life and then came home to make him pancakes. I fell asleep thinking that. I had no idea that in just a few hours security would stop me at the lobby doors, that the man I saved would say my name like he'd been waiting years to speak it, that he would look at me with those green eyes and say words that would turn my whole broke, tired, ordinary life completely upside down. But that's for tomorrow. Right now, all I know is my little boy is breathing easy, I'm breathing easy, and somewhere across the city, a stranger I kissed back to life is breathing too. I woke up to my phone ringing like crazy. It was 9:47 a.m. and I never sleep past 7, so I knew something was wrong. Noah was still asleep beside me, his little hand curled on my pillow. I grabbed the phone. Unknown number. Hello. Jessica Miller? A woman's voice, sharp and fancy. This is security at Cole Tower. Do not come in for your shift tonight. Come now. Mr. Cole wants to see the woman who saved his life last night. My stomach flipped. I thought they were going to fire me. You're not even supposed to be inside the executive offices after midnight. I broke like 10 rules doing CPR in there. I whispered. Am I in trouble? The woman just said. Be here in 1 hour. Black car is waiting outside your building. I looked out the window and almost dropped the phone. A shiny black SUV was parked right in front of my cracked sidewalk. The driver was holding a sign that said Jessica. I threw on the cleanest jeans I owned, a plain gray hoodie, and my old sneakers with the hole in the toe. I kissed Noah's warm forehead, left a note for the babysitter, and walked out shaking. The car smelled like new leather. The driver never spoke. We drove straight to the private elevator I'm not even allowed to look at normally. 40 floors up in 10 seconds. My ears popped. The doors opened into a world I only ever cleaned when nobody was watching. Everything was white and gold. Huge windows. City tiny below us. And there he was. Ethan Cole. He was standing by the window in a dark blue suit that probably cost more than my whole life. Notie. Top button open. He looked tired but alive. So alive. He turned when he heard me. Jessica. He said my name like he practiced it all night. I just stood there like an idiot, clutching my hoodie strings. He walked closer. Slowly. Like he didn't want to scare me. You came, he said softly. They said you wanted to see me, I answered. My voice sounded small. He smiled a little. Ido. Then he pointed to the couch. Please. Seat. I sat on the very edge. He sat across from me, close enough that I could smell that same Cedar Ocean cologne from last night. You saved my life, he said again like he still couldn't believe it. I just did what anyone would do. No, he said fast. No one else was there. You were. And you stayed. I looked down at my hands. My nails were short and clean from scrubbing floors. His hands were big, strong, expensive, watch flashing. I owe you everything, he said. Name it. Anything. I laughed. Came out nervous. Sir, I just want to keep my $14 an hour job and go home to my son. He didn't laugh with me. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a black credit card. Shiny. Heavy looking. Take this. I stared at it like it might bite me. No limit, he said. Buy medicine for Noah. Buy groceries. Buy whatever you need. It's the least I can do. Pushed it back. I don't take charity. It's not charity. It's payment for a life. I didn't save you for money. I know, he said quietly. That's why I'm giving it anyway. He stood up, walked to his desk and pressed a button. A huge screen on the wall turned on. My janitor badge photo filled it. My tired face, messy ponytail, name tag. Jessica M. Night crew. He turned to me. I had them find you the second I could speak. I needed to know the name of the woman who brought me back. My mouth went dry. He walked over and held the card out again. This time he didn't let me push it away. He closed my fingers around it himself. His hand was warm, just like his lips last night. Jessica, he said, and his voice dropped lower. Please, let me do this one thing. I looked at the card, then at him. I thought about Noah coughing all night, about the empty fridge, about the hospital bill I still owed $8,000 on. I swallowed hard. Okay, I whispered. But only for Noah. He smiled. Real smile. The kind that reached his eyes. Thank you. Then he did something that made my heart stop. He lifted my hand, the one holding the card, and kissed my knuckles. Soft. Quick. Like a promise. I felt it all the way down to my toes. I stood up fast, cheeks burning. I have to go. He didn't stop me. Just watched me walk to the elevator. Right before the doors closed, he said, "Jessica." I turned. This isn't over. The doors shut. I rode down 40 floors clutching that black card like it was on fire. When I stepped outside, the driver was waiting again. "Ma'am," he said. "Mr. Cole says take you anywhere you need." I looked at the pharmacy across the street. Then at the card. I got in the car. I bought Noah's medicine. I bought groceries. I paid the electric bill online before we even reached my apartment. And when the cashier at the pharmacy said, "Ma'am, this card just paid the $8,000 balance on your account too," I almost sat down on the floor and cried right there in front of the cough drops. I got home. Noah was awake, eating cereal, smiling because his fever was gone. I hugged him so tight he laughed and said, "Mommy, you smell rich." I laughed and cried into his hair. That night I put the black card in my sock drawer and told myself, one time, just until we're okay, then I'll give it back. I really believed that. But 2 hours later at 11:07 p.m., someone knocked on my door. 3 hard knocks. I looked through the peephole and felt ice run down my spine. It was Victoria, tall, blonde, perfect red lipstick, eyes cold as winter. She was holding a tablet. And when she spoke through the door, her voice made my blood freeze. "Jessica, open up. We need to talk about the video someone took of you kissing Mr. Cole last night. And why you and your son are no longer safe in this building." I stood there with my hand on the lock. I opened the door, just a cracked chain still on. Victoria didn't even blink. She just lifted the tablet so I could see the screen. A video. Dark, a little blurry, but clear enough. It was me on my knees in Ethan's office, giving him mouth-to-mouth, my hands on his chest, his hand coming up to touch my face right when he woke up. The camera must have been one of the hidden security ones in the ceiling. Someone had stolen the file. Under the video was a dark web link and a countdown. 11 hours 43 minutes until it goes public. My legs almost gave out. How many people have this? I whispered. "Enough," Victoria said. Her voice was ice. "Someone inside the building sold it last night for $50,000. By tomorrow morning every gossip site, every news channel, every creepy forum will know Ethan Cole was saved by a broke single mom janitor who kissed him back to life. They'll find your name, your address, your son's school. You understand?" I looked behind me. Noah was asleep on the couch, one foot sticking out from the blanket. Victoria kept talking, calm like she was reading the weather. "Paparazzi are already outside the building. 2 men in a gray van have been parked across the street for an hour. They don't know which apartment yet, but they will." I felt sick. She stepped closer. "Mr. Cole says you and the boy come with me. Tonight. Guest house on his property. Private gate. Security dogs. Cameras. No one gets in." I shook my head fast. "I'm not moving in with some man I don't know. It's not moving in. It's protection. Temporary. I don't take handouts." Victoria finally smiled, but it wasn't kind. "This isn't a handout, Jessica. This is survival. You saved his life. Now he saves yours. That's how it works in his world." I wanted to slam the door. I wanted to scream that I could take care of my own son. But I looked at Noah again, small and trusting, and I felt the walls closing in. "How long?" I asked. "Until the video dies down. A week. Maybe 2. I swallowed the lump in my throat. "Give me 10 minutes to pack." Victoria nodded once and stepped back. I closed the door, leaned against it, and cried without sound for 30 seconds. Then I wiped my face and started moving. I packed 2 small bags. Noah's favorite dinosaur pajamas, his asthma inhaler, my work uniform, 3 pairs of jeans, Noah's teddy bear that lost one eye last year. I left the broken TV, the leaky pots, the eviction notice stuck to the fridge. I wrote a quick note to the babysitter. "Family emergency, will call soon." I woke Noah gently. "Sweetie, we're going on an adventure tonight. Like camping, okay?" He rubbed his eyes. "Do we get to see the rich man again?" I laughed even though I wanted to cry. "Yeah, baby. We do." Victoria carried one bag. The driver carried the other. Noah held my hand so tight his little fingers went white. Outside, flashbulbs started popping the second we stepped on the sidewalk. Men shouting, "Jessica! Over here! Is it true you kissed Ethan Cole? Are you his new girlfriend?" Noah hit his face in my hip. Victoria pushed us into the back of a different car. This one with blacked-out windows. Doors locked. Engine started. We pulled away fast. Noah fell asleep against my shoulder before we even left the city. I stared out the window watching my old neighborhood disappear. 40 minutes later the car turned into a private road lined with trees so tall they blocked the moon. Gates opened by themselves. We drove another mile. Then the house appeared. Not a house. A castle. White stone, lights in every window, fountain in the driveway. Bigger than any building I'd ever cleaned. Noah woke up and pressed his face to the glass. "Mommy, are we in heaven?" I almost said yes. Victoria led us through a side door so the main staff wouldn't see. Up a back staircase. Into a wing that smelled like fresh paint and flowers. 2 huge bedrooms connected by a playroom already full of toys still in the boxes. A kitchen bigger than my old apartment. A fridge already stocked with Noah's favorite juice boxes. Noah's eyes went round. He looked at me like Christmas came early. Victoria dropped the bags. "Someone will bring proper clothes tomorrow. School tutor starts Monday. Pool is heated if he wants to swim. Do not leave this wing without permission. Do not answer the door for anyone except me or Mr. Cole." "Understood." I nodded. She turned to leave, then stopped. "Oh, and Jessica?" Her voice got softer, almost kind. "He hasn't stopped asking about you since the hospital let him go. Don't hurt him. He's been hurt enough." Then she was gone. I put Noah to bed in a bed so big he looked like a doll. He fell asleep hugging the new teddy bear someone had left on the pillow, bigger and softer than his old one. I stood in the doorway watching him breathe. Then I walked to the window. Far across the lawn I saw lights in the main house. One window on the top floor was open. A man stood there, just a shadow, but I knew it was Ethan. He raised one hand. I raised mine back. And even from that far away, I swear I felt it again. That same spark from the night I breathed life back into him. I whispered to the dark, "What am I doing?" But tomorrow was coming fast. And tomorrow, Ethan Cole was going to walk through that door and see the real me. No uniform, no mop, no hiding. Tomorrow, everything would change again. The first morning in the guest house I woke up to birds singing outside the window and Noah jumping on my bed yelling, "Mommy, there's a swimming pool and a slide and a robot that brings orange juice." I laughed so hard I cried a little. Because for the first time in years my baby woke up happy instead of scared about bills. We spent the whole day hiding in our wing like Victoria told us. A sweet older lady named Maria brought clothes. Soft jeans that actually fit me, little Nike sneakers for Noah, even superhero underwear with tags still on. Everything perfect size. I kept waiting for someone to say, "Just kidding, pay us." But nobody did. At 6 p.m. there was a soft knock. I opened the door and Ethan was standing there holding 2 pizza boxes and a shy smile. "Hi," he said. I heard Noah likes pepperoni. Noah screamed, "Pizza!" and ran straight at Ethan's legs like a tiny missile. Ethan laughed, real laugh, deep and warm, and picked him up with one arm like he weighed nothing. Something inside my chest cracked open when I saw them together. We ate on the floor because Noah said tables are boring. Ethan took off his fancy jacket, rolled up his sleeves, and let Noah put a pepperoni slice on his nose like a clown. I couldn't stop staring. This was the man on magazine covers who never smiled, and here he was making my son giggle so hard milk came out his nose. After Noah fell asleep stuffed with pizza and cartoons, Ethan helped me carry him to bed. We stood in the doorway watching him breathe for a long time. Then Ethan said, quiet, "Come walk with me." I thought he meant around the house. He meant outside under the stars past the pool that glowed blue, all the way to a little garden with fairy lights in the trees. We sat on a bench. Crickets everywhere. He was so close I could feel the heat from his arm. "Jessica," he started then stopped. Started again. "I need to tell you something." My stomach dropped. Here it comes, the thank you and goodbye speech. He turned to face me. Moonlight on his face. I lied yesterday when I said it was just gratitude. I stopped breathing. That night on the floor when you put your lips on mine. I felt it before I even opened my eyes. Like electricity. like coming home. I have not stopped feeling it for 1 second since. I opened my mouth but no words came out. He kept going, voice rough. I know you think I'm doing all this because I owe you. Maybe it started that way. But now? Now I look at you and Noah and I don't want you to leave. Ever. I finally found my voice. Ethan, you don't know me. You know the janitor who gave you CPR. That's not real life. He smiled soft. Then let me know the real you. Let me earn it. Then he did the thing that broke me. He reached out slow, giving me time to pull away, and brushed a piece of hair behind my ear. His fingers stayed on my cheek. I'm falling for you, Jessica, he whispered. Scary fast. And I don't want to stop. I felt tears on my face before I knew I was crying. He wiped them with his thumb. I'm scared too, he said. But I'm more scared of missing this. I don't know who moved first. Maybe both of us. The kiss was soft at first, careful, like we were both afraid the other would disappear. Then it wasn't soft anymore. His hand slid to the back of my neck, my fingers curled in his shirt, and for the first time in 8 years I felt wanted. Really wanted. We pulled apart, breathing hard. Forehead still touching. Wow, he laughed quietly. Yeah. I laughed back, shaky. Wow. He walked me to the guest house door holding my hand like a teenager. Kissed my forehead. Tomorrow, he said. I'll take you and Noah to the zoo. Just us. No bodyguards. No Victoria. Promise. I believed him. That night I fell asleep smiling for the first time since Noah's dad walked out. The next 2 weeks were magic. Mornings. Ethan sneaking in with donuts before Noah woke up. Afternoons. Swimming, building blanket forts. Ethan letting Noah put stickers all over his $1,000 watch. Nights. After Noah was asleep, Ethan and I on the couch talking until 3 a.m. about everything. My mom dying when I was 12. His parents who only call when they need money. How lonely it is at the top. How lonely it is at the bottom. How maybe together we weren't lonely anymore. He never pushed. Never asked for more than kisses and holding hands. Said he wanted me to trust him first. I was starting to. Then came the night that broke everything. Noah had another fever, small one, but it scared me. I ran to his room in a panic. Ethan was already there. Lifting Noah into his arms, keys in his hand. I've got you, buddy, he told my sleepy boy. Best doctors in the city, 5 minutes away. He drove us himself, one hand on the wheel, one hand holding mine across the seat. The doctor said it was just a virus, gave us medicine, sent us home. Back at the mansion, Noah fell asleep in Ethan's arms in the car. Ethan carried him all the way to bed. Kissed his forehead. Tucked the blanket like he'd done it 1,000 times. I stood in the hallway crying happy tears. Ethan pulled me close. I love him, Jessica, he said against my hair. I love both of you. I believed him. That's why what happened next hurt so bad. 2 nights later Noah was finally better. Ethan had a late meeting, so I put Noah to bed early and decided to surprise Ethan with his favorite coffee on his desk. I used the back stairs like Maria showed me. His private office door was open a little. I was smiling, holding the coffee, when I saw the framed picture on the shelf behind his desk. A woman. Long brown hair. Same eyes as mine. Same nose. Same mouth. She looked exactly like me. My hands started shaking so bad the coffee spilled. I walked closer like in a dream. There were more pictures hidden in a half-open drawer. Her laughing on a beach. Her in a hospital bed holding a tiny baby that never made it. Her and Ethan kissing under Christmas lights. On the back of one photo, in Ethan's handwriting, Rebecca, forever my heart. I heard footsteps behind me. Victoria's voice, cold and satisfied. Now you see. I turned. She was leaning in the doorway, arms crossed, red lips smiling like a cat. He loved her for 7 years. She died in a car crash 3 years ago tomorrow. You're just the ghost that walked in and wore her face. My voice came out broken. Why didn't he tell me? Because he's not over her, Victoria said. He saw you on that security footage and lost his mind. Thought God sent him a second chance. But you're not her, Jessica. You're the stand-in. And one day he'll wake up and remember that. I looked at the pictures again. At Rebecca smiling. At me holding the coffee like an idiot. Everything we had felt fake now. I dropped the cup. It shattered on the wood floor. Victoria stepped over the mess. Pack your bags tonight. Leave before he sees you cry. Have some dignity. I ran. I scooped Noah out of bed, still sleepy, grabbed our 2 little bags from that first night, and walked out the side gate into the rain. No car. No phone, I left it on the counter. Just me and my son and $11 in my pocket again. I walked until my legs gave out, crying so hard I couldn't see. Noah kept asking, "Mommy, why are we leaving the castle?" I couldn't answer him. Because the truth was too ugly. I wasn't the princess. I was the replacement. And the worst part? Even knowing all that, part of me still loved him. I just didn't know if he had ever loved me back. The rain soaked us in minutes. Noah's little hand was freezing inside mine. I carried him on my hip even though he was getting too big, because every time I put him down he asked, "Are we going home to Ethan now?" And I couldn't answer. We walked for 2 hours. Past the fancy gates, past the city lights, until we were back in the part of town where streetlights flicker and nobody looks twice at a crying woman with a kid at 2 a.m. I used the last $11 for a cheap motel room that smelled like smoke and old carpet. The clerk didn't ask questions. I locked the door, put the chain on and sat on the floor with Noah asleep on my lap. I didn't sleep. I just stared at the wall and replayed every kiss, every laugh, every "I love you" Ethan ever gave me, and pictured Rebecca's face every time. Morning came gray and ugly. I turned my phone back on. I had grabbed it after all. 247 missed calls. All from Ethan. Texts that started calm and got worse. "Where are you? Jessica, please answer.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I can explain. I'm coming to find you." I turned it off again. I got Noah cereal from the vending machine. He ate it quiet, watching cartoons on the tiny TV. He didn't ask about Ethan once that day. I think he already knew something broke. 3 days. That's how long we hid. I cleaned rooms at another motel for cash under the table. $20 a room. My hands bled from bleach again. Noah stayed locked in with the TV low and the curtains closed. I told him we were on a secret mission. Every night I cried in the shower so he wouldn't hear. On the 3rd night the motel manager knocked and said, "Lady, some guy in a black car has been parked out front for 6 hours. Says he just wants to talk." I looked out the peephole. Ethan. Alone. No driver. Hair messy. Eyes red like he hadn't slept either. He was holding a single red rose and a kid's dinosaur umbrella. I opened the door 2 inches. "Go away. Jessica." His voice cracked. "Please." 5 minutes. Noah heard him and came running. "Ethan." Ethan dropped to his knees right there in the doorway, rain dripping off him, and opened his arms. Noah ran into them like nothing ever happened. That almost killed me. Ethan held my son so tight, face buried in his little neck, whispering, "I missed you so much, buddy." I stood there like stone. He looked up at me, tears mixing with rain. "I know what Victoria told you. I know what you saw. Let me explain. Please." I wanted to slam the door. I wanted to fall into his arms. I did neither. I stepped back.
Come in.
5 minutes. He walked in carrying Noah like he was scared to put him down. I closed the door. He sat on the bed. Noah on his lap. Me standing, arms crossed. Ethan took a shaky breath. Rebecca was my fiancée. We were together 7 years. She was pregnant 8 months. A drunk driver hit us. I walked away with scratches. She didn't. The baby didn't. His voice broke. Noah hugged him tighter. "I died that night too," he said. "Just slower. I built walls. I worked 20-hour days so I wouldn't feel. Then 3 nights ago, I had a panic attack in my office. Heart stopped. And you brought me back. And when I opened my eyes and saw your face, yeah, for 1 second I thought I was dreaming her alive again. I felt sick. But then you spoke," he went on. "You said my name like you were scared for me, not impressed by me. You cried because you were afraid I'd die. Rebecca never cried for me. She cried for the life we lost. You cried for a stranger. That's when I knew you weren't her. You were better. You were real." He looked at me with raw eyes. "I should have told you day one. I was terrified if you knew you'd run. And I was right." Noah looked up at him. "Are you and Mommy fighting?" Ethan kissed his forehead. "I hurt her feelings, buddy. Bad. I'm trying to say sorry. Noah looked at me. Mommy say it's okay. He looks sad. I started crying again. Ethan stood up slow, still holding Noah, and stepped close. I fired Victoria the second I found out what she did. I burned every photo of Rebecca that night. Not because I stopped loving her memory, but because I don't want to live in the past anymore. I want to live in the future. With you. With Noah. If you'll let me. I couldn't speak. He put Noah down gently, then got on his knees in front of me. Real knees on the dirty motel carpet. I love you, Jessica Miller. Not because you look like someone I lost. Because you are the strongest, kindest, most beautiful woman I've ever met. You saved my life twice now. Once with your lips, once with your heart. I don't want to live another day without you. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a little velvet box. My heart stopped. He opened it. Inside was a simple ring, white gold, one small diamond. Nothing crazy. Perfect. I'm not asking because I feel guilty, he said. I'm asking because I can't breathe right when you're not with me. Marry me, Jessica. Let me spend every day proving I see you. Only you. Noah gasped. Mommy say yes. He has a ring. I looked at the man on his knees. At my son bouncing with hope. At the rose and the dinosaur umbrella on the floor. And I thought, I'm tired of being scared. I dropped to my knees too, so we were eye to eye. I touched his wet cheek. I'm still hurt, I whispered. I know. I might yell at you tomorrow. I deserve it. But I love you too. So much it scares me. His eyes filled. I smiled through tears. Yes, Ethan Cole. I will marry you. He slid the ring on my finger with shaking hands. Noah cheered so loud the people next door banged the wall. Ethan kissed me like the world was ending and beginning at the same time. We laughed. We cried. We held each other on that gross motel carpet like it was the finest floor in the world. Later, in the car on the way home, real home this time, Noah asleep in the back, Ethan reached over and laced our fingers. I have one more thing to tell you, he said quietly. I tensed. Tomorrow morning I'm holding a press conference. I'm selling 60% of Cole Enterprises. Every dollar is going to start a foundation for single moms and kids with medical bills. And it's going to be called the Jessica and Noah Foundation. I stared at him. You're not doing that for me. I'm doing it for us, he said. Because you taught me money doesn't fix lonely. Love does. And I want every mom who ever cried over a hospital bill to feel what I feel right now. I started crying again. He kissed my knuckles. Get some sleep, future Mrs. Cole. Tomorrow the whole world finds out I'm the luckiest man alive. I leaned my head on his shoulder and closed my eyes. For the first time in my whole life, I wasn't afraid of tomorrow. But tomorrow had one more surprise waiting. I woke up to Noah jumping on the bed yelling, Mommy, turn on the TV. Ethan said we're gonna be famous. It was 8:03 a.m. Sun was pouring through the windows of the big bedroom, our bedroom now. Ethan was gone already. He kissed me goodbye at 6, whispered, watch Channel 7 at 9. And left with that nervous smile he gets when he's planning something huge. Noah and I sat on the bed in our pajamas, eating cereal straight from the box, waiting. At 8:59 the screen went black for 2 seconds, then live feed from downtown. There he was. Ethan Cole standing on the steps of Cole Tower, no tie, sleeves rolled up, looking straight into the camera like he was looking straight at me. Behind him stood doctors, single moms holding kids, people in wheelchairs. A giant banner said, the Jessica and Noah Foundation launched today. The reporter asked, Mr. Cole, rumors say you're selling 60% of your company. Is that true? Ethan smiled. Calm. Sure. More than 60%, he said. Effective this morning, I am stepping down as CEO. The new owners are the people who need it most. Single parents, sick kids, families drowning in medical debt. Every dollar from the sale, $3.8 billion, goes into the foundation. No salaries. No private jets. Just help. The crowd gasped. Cameras flashed like lightning. The reporter could barely speak. Why now? Ethan looked right into the lens again. My heart stopped. Because 3 weeks ago I died on my office floor. A janitor named Jessica Miller saved my life with 2 breaths and 30 chest compressions. She had $11 in her bank account and a little boy waiting at home with a fever. She didn't know who I was. She just refused to let me die. That night she taught me what real wealth is. It's not money. It's love. It's showing up. It's choosing people over power. Tears were rolling down my face so fast I couldn't see the screen. He kept going. So today I'm giving away the thing I thought made me important. Because I found something more important. I found my family. Then he stepped away from the microphone, walked to the edge of the stage, and looked straight up at the camera one last time. Jessica, he said, voice soft but the whole world heard it. I don't want to own buildings anymore. I just want to build a home. With you. With Noah. Forever. If you'll still have me after all this craziness. Silence for one heartbeat. Then Noah screamed at the top of his lungs. Say yes, Mommy. He's asking on TV. I laughed so hard I couldn't breathe. The reporters started shouting questions. Ethan ignored them all. He just stood there smiling, waiting. I grabbed my phone with shaking hands and called him. It rang once. Jessica. His voice was nervous. I smiled so big my cheeks hurt. Yes, Ethan Cole. 1,000 times yes. The roar from the crowd on TV was so loud it shook the windows. Noah started jumping on the bed yelling. We're getting married. We're getting married. Ethan's laugh came through the phone, happy and free. Put me on speaker, baby. I did. He said loud enough for both of us. Noah, buddy, you okay if I marry your mommy? Noah grabbed the phone. Only if I can be the ring bearer. Ethan laughed again. Deal. Best ring bearer in history. Then softer just for me. Come downtown. Both of you. I need to hold my family. We didn't even change out of pajamas. Maria drove us in the golf cart to the main gate where a car was waiting. Paparazzi tried to follow but security blocked them. When we got there, Ethan was still on the steps. The second he saw us he ran down the stairs, picked Noah up, and kissed me in front of every camera in the city. Flashbulbs went crazy. Noah covered his eyes and yelled, You kissing? We laughed until we cried. Later that night, after the news replayed it 1,000,000 times, after strangers sent flowers and cakes to the gate, after Noah finally passed out clutching his new ring bear pillow Maria made in 2 hours, Ethan carried me over the threshold of the master bedroom like we were already married. He laid me on the bed gentle, like I was the most precious thing in the world. Hi, future wife, he whispered. Hi, future husband. He kissed my ring finger where the little diamond sparkled. I have one more surprise, he said. He opened the nightstand drawer and pulled out a thick folder. Inside were papers, adoption papers. Noah's name at the top. Ethan's name next to it as father. My hands flew to my mouth. I talked to his biological dad last week, Ethan said quietly. He signed away rights. No fight. Said Noah deserves better. If you'll let me, I want to be his dad. Legally. Forever. I couldn't speak. I just nodded over and over, crying again. Ethan kissed my tears away. Jessica Miller. Soon to be Jessica Cole. Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for giving me a family. Thank you for letting me love you both. I pulled him close and whispered against his lips. Thank you for seeing me. The real me. Not the janitor. Not the ghost. Just Jessica. We fell asleep tangled together. Noah snoring in the next room. The city quiet outside our windows for the first time ever. And that's the whole story. From broke single mom with $11 and a mop, to the woman who kissed a billionaire back to life and accidentally stole his heart. That broken night on the 40th floor wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning. And tomorrow we start planning a wedding. Noah wants dinosaurs. Ethan wants it small. I just want them. So if you're a single mom watching this right now, tired, scared, cleaning floors at 3 a.m. wondering if life ever gets better, I'm here to tell you it does. Sometimes it gets so good you'll cry in the cereal aisle when you remember where you started. Keep going. Keep breathing. Keep loving your babies. Your Ethan might be one heartbeat away. And when he finds you, let him stay. Because fairy tales aren't just in movies. Sometimes they start with a mop, $11, and one desperate kiss that changes everything. I love you all. See you at the wedding. Should I make a part 2? Comment wedding if you want it.